So what I'd like to share with you are 12 of the lessons that I learned how to complete an incomplete work super fast. All right? So the first one, it's kind of obvious, but most of us don't do that. But the first one is decide that you want to complete that. Sometimes you might want to say on a project, you know what? I don't care. Let it go. But if it's something that you want to complete, you need to make a decision. That's it. I'm going to do that. Like I committed in these 13 days, I'm going to complete those 30. You need to decide. That's the first step. If you don't do that, nothing's going to happen. Step number 2 is what you want to do is if the project is big or it takes more than a few hours, you want to break it down into micro goals. If it's decluttering, it's a 30 minutes decluttering of your drawers, I wouldn't break it into micro goals. You don't need to say open drawer, take out clothes, clean, put clothes back, whatever. It's not necessary. But if you have a project that takes a few hours or a few days or a few weeks, then you want to break it into micro goals. This is what I need to do first, this is what I need to do second, this is what I need to do third. The reason is that when we look at a big project, it just looks too much. It's like it looks overwhelming, and that's probably, by the way, the reason why we didn't complete it in the first place. It's because it looked too big. So break it into micro goals and commit to do one at a time. And then you look at the micro goal and you say, okay, I can do that. It will take an hour, it will take 2 hours, but I can do that. So break the bigger projects into micro goals. So that's step number 2. Step number 3 is make a plan. Again, it's not for the tiny little incompletes, but the bigger ones. Make a plan. Make a plan. The plan, it's very simple. You need to include 2 things: deadlines. So when are you finishing micro goal number 1? When are you finishing micro goal number 2? When are you finishing micro goal number 3? That's all you need to do. And add what is it that you need in order to make it complete. Do you need other people to help you? Do you need some resources? Do you need a certain tool or equipment? So make sure that it's there. So when you get to work, you have everything in order, everything is ready, so you can start working immediately. Because that leads us straight into step number 4, and step number 4 is actually start. Right now, you know your goals, you know your project, you know the micro goals, you know the plan. Now just take micro goal number 1 and start. Just actually do that. Okay? Actually do that. As a tip, so that's number 5, when do you do that? So you want to start when? I would suggest do that in the morning, preferably first thing in the morning. If that's something that you're not that enthusiastic to do, you're not that excited about it, which probably it is, because if you were excited about it, you would have completed that long time ago. But it's something that drags and you're not that excited, then do that first thing in the morning when you're energetic, when you're awake, when you're ready to conquer the world. And I think Brian Tracy is calling it swallow the frog in the morning. So swallow the frog first thing in the morning. So it's the thing that you don't like so much, just finish that in the morning, then the rest of the day, your energy is high and you can do whatever you want. The other thing that for me really works is that when you into completion, in order to be productive, in order to make sure that you finish it in the least amount of time, you want to work without distraction, without interruption. So you don't want to be busy with your phone, with your social media, with your emails, with kids screaming and coming into your room or whatever. The way I work all my life, I'm working in blocks. So I'm usually taking a 50 minutes to 55 minutes block, and that's when I'm having no distraction, no interruption whatsoever. And then after that, I'm taking 5 or 10 minutes break. In that time, I can do whatever I want. You want to check your emails, you want to answer phones, you want to check if the kids are still alive, all fine. But as soon as the 5 or 10 minutes of a break over, you go back into another 50 minutes of a block of work, and then nothing. Turn off your phone, turn off your email program, turn off, or whatever you need to do in order to focus only on the work at hand. That works for me. Find your way. Okay. Step number 7. For many people that's hard, but I found through doing this 30-day challenge, I found how valuable it is, and this is ask for help or delegate stuff. We tend to do everything on our own, and we feel that then we are more important, or we are more successful, or we are more accomplished, or we're just scared or feeling uncomfortable or feeling ashamed to ask for help. But then everything takes longer and everything is less fun to do. So I found out that whenever there is something that I need some help, then I'm just asking. I'm just asking for it. I hate painting walls. Okay, so when I needed to paint my house, I just basically contact some of my friends and I says, hey, who loves to paint? Hey, we love to paint. Wonderful. How about you come on Saturday? Everybody comes. I'm providing the paints, I'm providing all the equipment, all the things that you need, and I'm going to provide the sandwiches, the beer, whatever it is. But I'm going to watch you paint. And you'd laugh, but I had 6 friends, and I think they brought 4 or 5 kids, and they painted our house. It was years ago. They painted our house in ways that I wouldn't imagine to be able to do that myself. Just as an example for that. Here in the garden, we're asking a lot of people to help because it's a big property and it's a lot to do on our own. So, but you don't have just to ask people for actual help. Sometimes it's to ask for advice. Sometimes it's to ask them to keep you accountable. That's what I'm doing with Vered. So when I'm having an incomplete, I'm telling Vered, listen, I promised to do that by this date. You know, I want you to keep me accountable. Those are my micro goals. Check on me that I was actually doing them, and you know that helps. So sometimes you just need to have people cheering you up or confronting you. So that's why we created called Good Life Challenge, because that's what we do. Every month we choose a challenge for 30 days, and we all support each other. We get help. Okay, so that's step number 7. Step number 8 is don't sweat the small stuff. You have a big project in front of you to complete, and there's a lot of small things that you're not going to do complete perfectly, or you don't really know how to do them, or they are nagging around. Forget about it, you know, make the most of the work. If you need to paint the whole room and the ceiling and everything, and there's a part that still needs to be, you know, improved or whatever it is, let it go. Okay, let it go. Don't sweat it so much, so the majority will be complete. You will feel that the energy is coming back to you. That's my suggestion. You can do whatever you want. It fits perfectly with the next step, which is step number 9. It's let go of your perfectionism. Okay, many of us are, not everybody, but many of us, including me, tend to be perfectionists in what we're doing. There are no benefits for perfectionism. Okay, there are no benefits, there are only prices for that. And it comes from childhood usually, and it's conditioning that we have. It's not really necessary in our life. When you're a perfectionist, at least I know that for my life as a perfectionist, if I'm focusing on doing something or getting something as a result is perfect, either I don't start it or I don't finish it. Because right now, oh, I don't know how to make it, you know, perfect. So I'll start Googling it, I'll start researching, I'll start asking people, and you know, 6 months later, it's still not finished. So sometimes you need to let go of your perfectionism. I'm not saying don't go for excellence. Okay, excellence is excellent. Go for that. But you need to realize that if it's not 100% perfect, it's still good enough. You need to decide when good is good enough. Okay, and that's your decision, but that's my recommendation. Number 10, keep your eyes on the prize. What is it that you're trying to achieve? Why is it that you're trying to achieve it? If you know why do you want to declutter this specific room or this specific closet, if you know why do you want to paint the house, if you know why is it that you want to write a book, whatever it is, if you know the why and you keep that you know, in front of you all the time, then there's a lot more purpose in what you're doing, and there's a better reason for you to actually do that. So if I know that my new book is going to change lives, then it gives me motivation to actually, you know, do the work that I don't like, maybe there, like creating the blueprint, and move it along. If I know that you know, if I'm not going to paint, if I'm not going to finish painting, then you know the paint is falling off, or maybe there's a little bit of mold or whatever it is. Okay, now I have a motivation. I'm doing that. I have a prize in front of my eyes. When it's finished, then I get that result. I get a beautiful house, I get a clean closet, I get a book that can help other people, etc. So keep your eyes on the prize. That's number 10. Number 11, I like it a lot. Might not work for you, but I like it a lot. Find the pleasure in crossing off those micro goals. So whenever I'm getting or achieved one of the micro goals or completed, then I'm crossing it off either this way or check mark or whatever it is. But I'm doing it very visually, and I like to see my list with all those check marks. Okay, so I suggest you do that like me, which I'm doing it on a piece of paper, and I'm writing everything, or I'm printing it, and then I'm crossing off those items, and then slowly it looks like something is being completed. You can do that on the computer, but most of the people, what they do on the computer, as soon as they achieve something, they just delete that point, and you'll never see, it actually becomes less and less. It doesn't look as exciting as seeing all those things done. So find the pleasure in crossing each one of those points, which leads me to the last point, which is reward yourself. And you want to reward yourself, in my opinion, at the end of every check mark, at the end of every micro goal that you achieve. So it doesn't mean that it's very big, but you finish 2 hours of micro goal that gets you closer to the end result, then give yourself a little reward, whatever it is. It can be just a tap on the shoulder, it can be a 5 minutes break that you enjoy the sun, whatever it is. And for sure, at the end, when you finish the project, so you had that thing complete for weeks or months or years, you finish that, you complete it, go and celebrate. Do whatever celebration is for you, okay? But make sure that you celebrate it, you make it big. You actually training yourself, you condition your mind to know that completion is fun and it's rewarding. Most of the time we think that completion is a drag, but if you can condition your mind to know that completion is fun because I'm getting all those rewards, then you'll be able through your life to not get into the position that you have 30 or 40 or 50 incompletes, but you'll have less of them or none. Okay, so those are my suggestions. I would like to hear from you. What do you think about it? If you have any other ideas, and most important, I would like you to pick up one incomplete that you have right now in your life that you want to complete, that you're willing to complete, that you're willing to commit to complete, and let me know in the comment box below. It's not for me as much as it's for you. You're committing in front of the whole community that is watching these videos. You're committing to complete that, give yourself a deadline, and let us know when it is. And make sure that when you finish it, you come back and you comment and you say, I did that. This way you're getting, first of all, you're committing yourself, and also you're getting the support of everyone else. If you need some help, ask. See what happens. So that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you benefited from that. Those are 12 ways how to complete an incomplete work fast. And until we meet again, live fully, stay awesome from this Sunday.